This week I want to talk with you all about a 3-day free group that I am offering that's going to have a meal plan. It's going to have workouts. It's really going to give you a jump start on helping you get your metabolism to start working with you. So here's the thing. Navigating these during and after menopausal symptoms while we're also juggling what oftentimes is like at the height of our career stress. Really, we've gotten into those positions in our career where responsibility is enormous, stress is often like just boiling over, right? I have totally been there. It is a time when your body starts to feel like it's betraying you. You're just like doing all the things, and all of a sudden weight just starts piling on, right? And so you're a professional woman and you don't have time for this nonsense. And right at the time things seem to get like crazy busy for you, your body just like goes haywire crazy on you, and it's really frustrating. It's beyond frustrating. Let's face it. It can be depressing. It can make you sad. It can make us angry. And it's not just about the weight. One of the reasons that this struggle is so complicated and so difficult for us is because it's not just a physical transition. We have brain fog. We are dealing with lack of sleep or disrupted sleep, and all of that affects us mentally, emotionally, psychologically, from an energy perspective, on top of how our body looks, right? And so when your hormones are in complete chaos, when you are unhappy about weight that you're gaining, that's bad enough, but then you're not getting enough sleep, your clothes aren't fitting, and you're stressed out at work, or even if it's just the normal kind of stress at work and in life, because let's face it, life is stressful. Even if things seem to be kind of normal in that way, that gets amplified and feels like it's a much larger, more complicated issue because our bodies aren't cooperating. And we do have the brain fog and we have the mood swings and all of these things that they're not just physically affecting us. Okay. So who do we turn to? What do? We start to realize this is becoming a problem. Like, okay, it's not just that my waistband is tight, but my pants now aren't fitting. And it seems like it's happened overnight. But if we kind of look back, it's probably been going on and you didn't even really notice it. Maybe for months, surely. And in my case, it was years. When I really began to realize what was happening, it had actually been going on for a couple of years. And my symptoms, now that I can look back in hindsight and see, they actually started when I was in my later 30s. I had had a hysterectomy, which many of you tell me that you have experienced too, like a hysterectomy in your late 30s or early 40s. And it was really kind of in the year or two after the hysterectomy that I started noticing that things were a little more difficult. Weight was coming on a little faster. I started having times where I couldn't remember things clearly, or I kind of felt like I had cobwebs in my head. I was starting to get more uncomfortable, like with the temperature and the environment, whether I was outside and heat was affecting me more. I wasn't able to tolerate it as well, or it was, temperatures in rooms in my office, for example. I remember calling the maintenance people like multiple times because I was either freezing cold or I was just sweltering hot. And I remember them telling me, like, Dr. Dottie, it's 70 degrees in here, or it's 72 degrees in here, or what have you. And so all of these things are happening, and we're like, where do we turn? If we're lucky enough that we start to recognize those signs and symptoms. Like I said, for me, it took a couple of years before I realized what was happening. And so then we're kind of in the full swing of things. When we're like, okay, this is a problem and I have to do something about it, it's actually kind of probably escalated to the point that it's a little beyond just the beginnings, right? So again, this question of who do we turn to? Well, we start looking online. We start doing research. We know that it's probably hormones when we start thinking about it. We know that our metabolism is slowing down. So we'll do some things that we know, because we know how to eat healthy. I mean, come on. If you're in your 50s like me, you probably grew up dieting at least part of the time, right? And so we lived through the Richard Simmons era, the Jane Fonda era, the everything you can think of name of diet era. Probably many of you like me have done the Weight Watchers, the Nutrisystem, all the things. And we've read a lot. We are intelligent, educated women. So we've also done a lot of our own research. And in general, we know how to eat healthy. And we know that you have to kind of get your nutrition on track, and you got to move more when you want to lose weight. And so those are the things that we start to do. And what becomes even more disheartening is those things are not working for us. Or maybe we'll lose a couple of pounds, but then they just come right back. And it seems like it's a much harder battle, even if you're like me and you battled weight in years prior to that, in your 20s, for example. It seems even harder at this point, right? So we do all the research, we put in place the things that we know, and we try to be consistent with those, but they're not working. And so we get to a point, oftentimes, many of us, me included, and you guys tell me this all the time, you're like, okay, I need to go to the doctor and have my hormones tested, right? And your doctor may or may not do hormone testing. He may or may not run some other kinds of tests. Usually it's blood work that they will do, which I could go into all kinds of struggles with why that doesn't really tell them anything. But if they do testing, they come back and they tell you, oh, it's normal. Like your hormones have decreased, your estrogen is low, blah, 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 whatever. They might also tell you that your thyroid, which is very, very common. If you've gone to the doctor over your hormones and looking for answers and you've been put on thyroid medication, you are not alone. That is one of their good old standbys, is to put us on a thyroid medication. And so ultimately, whether they offer you hormone replacement therapies, pills, creams, or they offer you a thyroid pill, some of them will in fact offer you an anti-anxiety med. If you're presenting with those kinds of struggles and you're saying, hey, I can't sleep at night, I do feel anxious, or if you're presenting with concerns around being kind of down or feeling depressed, they may also introduce a protocol for an antidepressant. But bottom line is they give you pills to kind of placate you, and they tell you this is just totally normal. It's part of the aging process. And the problem is that's extremely frustrating to me. And it's even more frustrating the more of you who I talk to and I hear your experiences with doctors, because it feels very much like you're not taken seriously. And even if you are, again, it's here, shove a prescription or 5 in your face. And you don't need a doctor to tell you that this is a normal part of the aging process. And it's even more frustrating if it's a male doctor who just kind of tries to mansplain things and almost seems to be condescending about it. Many of you have told me stories about doctors who have told you, like, basically gaining weight is normal as you age, and that you just have to cut back on what you're eating and you need to start an exercise regimen. And a lot of you have said, when my doctor's told me that, I've told him, like, that's what I've done. That's what I've been trying to do for 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year, and it's not doing any good. And you feel like he's not taking you seriously, or he doesn't believe that you've actually ever put much effort into it. And all of those things may be true. So here's the thing. I have never done anything half-assed. And when my body started to betray me, once the aging process was really kind of showing up more for me, once I knew that menopause nightmare had started, I felt like a failure in many ways, because I could not get a handle on how to keep my body from betraying me. I could not seem to get it turned around. And I'm hard-headed, you guys. I am very hard-headed. I am stubborn. And when I have a problem, I can attack it and I can solve it. And this issue with my body and my emotions and the cobwebs that were in my head. I didn't feel like I could get a handle on. And when I reached out there to look for something that would help me, that would work, there really was nothing out there. So I feel your frustration when you guys tell me this. So I did what I always do, and I dove headfirst into learning everything I could about the aging process with women in particular, paid special attention to looking into how our bodies respond to these hormonal changes as we're getting older. What is exactly happening? What does it mean? What does menopause even mean? Because let's face it, our moms probably did not have a conversation with us about menopause, and they didn't share with us what to expect because when it started making over their bodies, they didn't know what was going on. And that generation before us, who are now like in their 70s, 80s, and beyond, they didn't get taken seriously. And this certainly was not viewed as anything that anyone needed help with. They just kind of suffered in silence. So they didn't tell us how to manage it. So I went out there, I did all the research, super time intensive, and I started putting things in place once I discovered what was happening with our hormones, with our metabolism, and how our bodies were changing with that aging process. I was pretty shocked. I'll say even horrified in some ways. And it was even more horrifying that these were processes that had been to some extent studied, but not really studied in depth. No large studies were being done. It just wasn't taken as any kind of a concern in the medical community or otherwise. And what I learned on my own that was startling led me to finally figure out how to end that struggle in my own body. And so what I do now in my 12-week MRS program with clients, in our next level coaching, everything that I do now with this business is about sharing those methods and strategies with women to solve those problems, to help them to be educated about what is happening in their body, teach them strategies and how to implement them, and coaching them through that. Well, from time to time, a few times a year, I also share everything that I learned in creating those methods with you all. And I do that in short, free groups where I can give you a jump start on what it is that you need to do to turn this situation around. And that's what I'm doing and why I am recording this particular episode. If you're listening to this episode at the time that it's being published, in March of 2024, you will have an opportunity to get some of that education and a free 3-day plan for me. I am doing one of my exclusive 3-day reset plans. And this time I am focusing it for women who are over 50. And it is a specific focus on menopausal metabolism. So I am doing a 3-day free menopausal metabolic reset. And again, if you're listening to this in March of 2024, I want you to know that you can go to the show notes and you can sign up to do this free 3-day group for me. This plan that's brand new that I have developed that I am giving away for free, it's not a quick fix. I want you to know that. It is absolutely not a quick fix. This is about using some methods that are sound, proven, and research-based for resetting a metabolism that basically feels like it has slowed to a crawl. And it's about giving you the tools for beginning to reclaim your body from what feels like a menopausal grip. Menopause may have you in a chokehold, okay? Now, so what are we going to dive into? Well, first, let me tell you what you can expect. As a result of these 3 days, you can expect to drop up to, or even more than 5 pounds. It is women who have done these kinds of reset groups with me before have dropped 3, 4, 5, up to 7 or even 8 pounds in a very short period of time. I will coach you for 3 days, but I encourage you to use this plan for 5 to 7 days. And if you follow it for 5 to 7 days, dropping 5 pounds is completely normal. You should expect to, okay? You will also drop inches. You will get some relief from bloat. Your digestive system will start working more effectively because we're going to focus on your menopausal metabolism. And all of those things that I'm mentioning are part of how your metabolism is so slow right now and how your hormones are fluctuating so much. Your body is basically in a freak out mode and it doesn't know what to do. This is going to help you to drop some pounds, drop some inches, increase your energy by far. It will help you to start getting a handle on getting better sleep. And it's just going to it is just what I said it is. It is a reset for your metabolism. So how are we going to do that? Here's what you're going to get. I'm going to dive into and give you a hormone balancing meal plan. It is also going to include family-friendly recipes because here's the thing, women, when I talk to women about helping them with their nutrition in one of my extended program, like my 12-week protocol, one of the questions they always ask is like, is my family going to be able to eat this? My family is not going to want to be on a diet. I don't want to cook separate meals. None of that. I never put anyone on any kind of nutrition plan, even when I'm doing customized nutrition plans for them. I never put them on a nutrition plan where they have to cook separate meals. Everything that I include with my 12-week protocol, the women get really family-friendly, healthy, simple meals. I am not a chef. I leave that to my daughter who lives in Austin, and I really don't enjoy cooking. And so we're busy. And so everything that I do is focused on it being doable, sustainable in a busy lifestyle. So you're going to get a hormone balancing meal protocol that you can follow. So you know exactly what to eat. And it will include some family-friendly recipes for you too. You're also going to get 3 short, and I'm talking about like 20, 25 minutes or so, Meno-Effective workouts. That means they're going to be focused on resetting your metabolism, getting that spike in your metabolism so you can start burning more fat. And they're going to be really short because they are super effective. Exercise does not have to be long. You do not have to go to a gym. You do not have to work out for an hour. My clients in our 12-week program work out 3 days a week for about 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to give you 3 brand new Meno-Effective workouts that you're going to do during this 3-day plan. You're going to have a lot of other practical, sustainable strategies. Remember, I told you I'm going to be focused on giving you the tools that you can use to reclaim your body. So you're going to get practical, sustainable strategies. You're also going to get access, and you're going to keep this access to my VIP Facebook group. It is for women just like us. So you'll have coaching in that group, support and community in that group. I'm going to coach you in that Facebook group for the duration of this reset, okay? So you have what to do, and I'm going to help you with how to do it. I'm going to also do 3 live trainings that are going to be focused on menopause, the struggles of menopause, and how to get those moving in the right direction, to solve those struggles, all right? So that's what it's about. And I'm telling you that I've had hundreds and hundreds of women do these short free groups with me. And every single time I have women who lose 3 to 7 or 8 pounds, like I said, who feel so much better, who report to me that their energy is up. They feel more clear-headed. They just generally feel better. They have way more energy, and I'm offering this to you now. So if you're listening, March 2024, we're going to start on March 11th, and this is going to run for 3 days with intensive coaching. And I'm going to, in fact, leave this group open for you for up to 7 days so that if Monday is not a great day for you to begin this 3-day plan, sign up anyway. You can start on Tuesday or Wednesday, and you'll still be able to do it within that window of that week where I'm going to be doing the coaching and the training. Another question I often get is, well, I'm not really going to be available. I can't attend the live trainings live. So will this work for me? Absolutely. If you're signed up for this 3-day reset, and I'm going to put the link to sign up in the show notes under this episode. If you use that link and you sign up, one of the things I do in these short groups is I record those live trainings because I know you're busy, right? Remember, I always work with busy women. I record those live trainings. And if you're signed up, I email every woman who is signed up, I email you the link to the recording. So you can listen on your way to work. You can listen while you take a walk in the evening. You can listen while you're sitting at your desk. You'll still have access to those trainings, but only if you sign up. So look in the show notes. Let this group be a jump start for you. I know you have longer term plans. It is absolutely one of the best ways that you can get started. Know that what you're doing is right for your body and you have some help and support. So many of the women in my 12-week program completely start this way. So get signed up. And in full transparency, I will tell you that at the end of this plan, this 3-day group, I'm going to make 5 spots available for women who did this group with me, who are like, okay, I've got to get serious about getting on these goals. It's moving into spring. Before summer, I want to drop 20, 25 pounds, and I'm going to open up 5 spots for 5 of you who do this free reset with me, who want to get a longer term customized one-on-one plan and coaching to actually achieve the goals that you have for yourself. Get into summer feeling fantastic and really comfortable in your own skin. So I want you to know that there'll be 5 spots open, but I'm like tons of women will join this group. I'm sure that there will be several hundred women in this group. But if you're listening to this, don't delay getting in because we've got to get you set up. I'm doing you're going to get instructions on how to get your 3-day plan. That's going to be really important so that you know what your body needs during these 3 days, and so that you can participate in all 3 days of it, or even 5 or 7 days, and really feel good. So don't delay. I am going to have to cap this group at probably a couple hundred people. So listen, you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So thanks for being here today. I really appreciate you guys letting me talk to you about this and meeting me here each week. And I will see you right back here next time.